Hi, this is Andy Cleff. This will be a brief tutorial on getting started with Mural, one of the main tools we'll be using for the workshop. At the beginning of the workshop, we'll share with you a link to the Mural board for that session. I'm going to go ahead and open a browser window. We use Chrome. You do not need to be in incognito mode. I'm doing this because I have another browser open. I'm doing some administrative controls. You'll follow the link, and it'll ask you to join the board anonymously. Go ahead, click and enter, and there you are. You can dismiss the new user experience prompts. If you've not used Mural before, think of it as a large online digital canvas where we can collaborate. There's great presentation, sharing, and interacting tools, and I'll walk you through a number of those features. Starting over here on the top right, one of the things we use commonly is the outline view, which allows you to quickly scan areas on the board and move to specific locations. You toggle that simply by clicking that. Here, for example, are the instructors. This is an opening survey. This is a collaboration area for who's here. If you don't need it, you can close it and get to it at any point. There's a number of keyboard shortcuts built into Mural. You can get to them through this simple pop-up menu. Down here on the lower right are the zoom functions and the move functions. So you can easily move in and out of the board. You can go to specific areas if you recognize them. You can also use keyboard shortcuts, just like you would to zoom in and zoom out of your browser window. If you want to move around the board, you can switch to move mode, in which case you can just slide the board around and not disturb any of the elements on the board. Down at the bottom, you'll see a list of people who are members of this board. Your icon will always be the one to the left, and when you roll over it, you'll see a number of different features. Ask to be followed is useful if we're in a breakout session and one of your partners is lost. Hey, follow me. You can broadcast your cursor by toggling that if it's not checked, and it shows where you are on the board. And finally, if you're distracted by the cursors that are there, you can hide those cursors. Individuals that are facilitators have additional powers, and you'll see them with the star next to it. For example, as a facilitator, I can ask everybody to come follow me, in which case you'll be summoned to whatever area in the facilitator role I'm looking at, and then you'll see my view. I'm doing this on a separate browser window. Over here on the left are content creation tools. Top are different text entering devices, single line text, multi-line text, and then sticky notes of various shapes and sizes. We most commonly use those in our training. For all of these, you can drag and drop and then begin to enter your text. If you drag the wrong one, you can also use the content exchange features with this pop-up menu that quickly changes this to a 3x5 or a circle. The other ones are changing the font size, and there's a convenient drag and drop for scaling. You can move elements, and delete key does what you think it would do. Other elements include shapes, connectors. We don't use these too much in our training, but they're here. Icons. There's a very extensive library that Mural provides. It is also keyword searchable. For example, if you need an umbrella because it's raining, type it in and you'll get more than enough options. All of these, like the other tools, drag, you can scale, and then the pop-up context menu gives you other capabilities such as color coding and zooming and moving. Should you need to bring images, you can import them from your local computer. All existing items that you have access to, you can simply click and begin to edit. There will be items that are locked on the board and you won't be able to access them. Stickies, since they're the most common, have another shortcut, is just double click and a new sticky will be created in the same size that the last one you created in. You can hit a return and start typing directly into the key. To get line breaks, you can do Shift Enter and you get a new line. Otherwise, you'll get automatic line breaks, line wraps. If you want to duplicate things, there's a couple of ways to do that. Holding down the Option key on a Mac gives you the ability to copy. There's also keyboard shortcuts. Command D on a Mac, Control D on Windows. Finally, if you accidentally create something that you don't want, click it, hit delete. Items that are part of the board that you can't delete, you can delete. There's an undo function, so if I accidentally deleted something that I want back, I can simply undo it. Other things that might be useful include commenting. So for example, if you have an item that you wish to discuss and comment on, there's a comment function accessible from here. Type your comment away. One of the things we use frequently is voting to rank items. In this case, there are 5 Scrum values. I'm going to start a voting session from my administrator window where you'll get 5 votes. And as a participant, you'll see this pop up. You'll begin voting, and then you can cast a vote. For example, on a scale of 1 to 5, how do you manifest courage? Click 3. Openness. If you want to change your mind, use Shift click to remove a vote and you can cast it somewhere else. You'll see up top how many votes you have left. And when you've cast all your votes and everybody else has as well, the facilitator will end the voting session and then the results are displayed. You can then dismiss this and we'll see how the entire group has voted. Enjoy.